Welcome to Hot Takes, Easthampton edition. I'm here with Jeromie Whalen, candidate for Mass Congressional District 1, and I'm Salem Derby, Mayor of Easthampton, running for Mayor of Easthampton, and we are here to discuss hot political topics and eat hot wings and see how we can do.
I'm looking forward to this. Where did these wings come from?
I got them at Amy's place.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Love
So
Amy's place.
this is amazing wings, and right on Cottage Street, so we're pretty lucky here.
Nice.
And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with one of the more mild sauces here.
Which one are we talking? Classic.
Let's start with the second level.
Second level. Okay. So we got it's a second level here, but it's ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
All
Okay.
Right, all right.
This will be fun. Okay.
So dab for you. Dab for me.
Yep.
Ooh, this one's
This one's a
lot
liquid
going on.
one.
There's a lot going on.
Okay.
So let's go. You spent 22 years on the city council before becoming a mayor. Long time.
It is a long time.
Long time. What's one policy people think is simple, but is actually maddeningly complex?
So, this one.
Get
That's right.
Get
I got to get in there. Okay. All right. Well, this one
trying to curb the rules over here.
is actually really relevant to what's going on in the world today.
Good flavor.
Oh, that's nice.
That's really good.
When I became mayor, I got hit with the Hampshire Insurance Trust, and we had a 38% increase in rates for the city, but also for staff. And that's a huge deal because any cost of living raises that staff got wiped out by the increase in health insurance. So
just happened in Belchertown too.
It's happening all over. And so, people are thinking, oh, well, just switch health insurance, go to the GIC. And really, it's really complicated. And we're actually up against some deadlines right now. December 1st is one of these big ones. I was just in a meeting about it the other day. And this is an important issue. And I think what it really reinforces is that we need to start looking at a Medicare for all.
Medicare for all.
We need, healthcare is a human right, and we need to start acting like that, and we need people that are willing to push for that.
Yep, and it streamlines the process. It gets the corporate bloat out and saves people money in the process.
And really, healthcare shouldn't be run for a profit.
Exactly.
It's like we don't run our police and fire for a profit.
Exactly.
So that one, a lot of people think that's a simple issue. It's really complex.
Yeah.
So,
no, there's and it gets more and more complex because the health insurance corporations want it to be complex. They don't want it to be an easy fix, right?
No, the more complicated they make it, the more money they make.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's move on to the next one as we continue this.
Okay.
Because I gotta keep eating here. So this is actually, I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
It's really good.
This is Neil's Real Deal smoked onion.
All right, so we'll get that one next.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, so you've taught media, public engagement. You were at Northampton High School for 10 years.
Yep.
What made you decide it was time to take the lesson plan to Congress?
Yeah. I don't have that political pedigree or background. And frankly, I wear that as a badge of pride because I think it's a liability to have a political background now. We're at the lowest historic approval ratings of Congress, lowest historic approval ratings of the Democratic Party. And we need public servants, not politicians in office. And so as I was kind of looking at the situation at hand, all of the communities around me devastated and impacted by what's going on. And I looked at my own classroom. I said, what future are we giving my students in our community? And I said, something has to be done. I looked around and no one was kind of rising to the occasion. So I put my hat in the ring and it's been so awesome. What we do every single day, the boots on the ground, making an impact on the lives of everyone around us. I'm doing that and starting at that bottom with those relationships and building towards that network of everybody up into the federal level.
Well, and I love that because one of the things that really blew my mind was when Citizen United became a thing, and we were told that money is speech. Yep. And what we saw so much corporate money coming into the political realm. And at that time I was saying we need real people. We need real people to look out for other people. And we can't have these corporate shrills that are just going to do the bidding of their corporate overlords.
Yeah.
And, so I think it's so important to have people like you that have, a vested interest in wanting to make sure that we have a future that's worth fighting for. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And On top of that, we have some really good leadership in Western Massachusetts sounding the alarm and trying to find solutions. So Jim McGovern, right next door, Mass 2, is pushing for an amendment to the Constitution about overturning Citizens United and getting corporate money out of politics. So we can do this. We just need to do it together, and we have to have individuals that are influenced by the corporate money doing so. And that's where I come in.
And we need good, honest people that are genuine and that care. And I think that's why maybe teachers are getting pulled up because that's one of the things that we might have in common.
They say teachers are heroes. Let's prove it. We're proving it right now. Yeah. Cheers.
Amazing. Cheers. Ready? Okay, here we go.
Second one, smoky onion.
Okay, cheers. Oh, wow. This swing is crazy.
That's still a good flavor, right?
Oh wow, that is amazing.
I'm waiting for the afterburn to come. We started small, but
well, it's funny. We started small. Did you see the name of that one?
Which one? This one?
The first one we did.
Oh yeah, the classic.
This one.
Oh, little dick. Little dicks. Oh yeah.
This one's good. I like it.
Okay,
so let me see. Well, I think now that we move on to this next one.
Yeah.
I think we're over.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So let's see. All right. Easthampton's been transforming fast from mills to maker spaces. What's been the toughest growing pain to manage?
Oh, definitely the rising cost. I mean, I can't even tell you. When I came to Easthampton 26 years ago, it was an affordable place. And one of the challenges of growth and like making a community more desirable is the fact that when you do that, you start to get people that want to be there. And when you get people that want to be there, then prices go up. And now, if it was just that, I think we could manage it. But then what we have is this new component where we have, Jared Kushner's coming from out of town and buying up apartment buildings and raising people's rents ridiculous amounts. And that brings up the idea of rent control, and we don't have any control locally.
Yeah.
And we had a really terrible thing happen to our artists over at Riverside, and they had to raise their rent because Riverside was trying to do improvements and things, and it really priced a lot of the artists out. Yeah. And those things are the biggest kind of negative consequence of the amazing growth that we have. But there are ways to mitigate that. Yeah. And so I think as we move forward, acknowledging that and finding really creative ways to mitigate the impact for seniors and for young people that are looking to stay in Easthampton or come to Easthampton. And, so we're going to have to really work on that.
Yeah. I've been tapped into a lot of different tenant associations that are going through that kind of rent increase. The other thing that I just don't understand, so the corporations buy up these properties, they come in, they jack up the rent, but they don't do any improvements. So the tenants band together and they're like, hey, there's an ice dam on the roof. Like, you got to fix this before. And so rather than have that local community connection where you're looking out for people, you just have this greed that's going on. And then it's also, the nice thing about that is that the tenants are banding together and saying enough is enough.
Right. And we've had a ton of that in Easthampton, which is great.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. We're on to another one.
Well, let's.
Oh, actually, I got my question over here too.
Yeah. So for you, you're challenging a long-time incumbent. Yeah. What's your elevator pitch for time for a change?
Yeah, it's time for generational change is what I'm saying. And when I talk about generational change, I'm not just saying, the youth exclusively. What we need to do is we need to bridge a connection between an older generation that is mobilized, that quite frankly has been here before, from fighting everything from civil rights to the Me Too movement, and then connecting that with some online activism that's going on in younger generations, right? I'll go on to Discord, or I'll go on to Slack, or I'll go on to Instagram, and there's a whole bunch of organization that's going on the youth level, and they're doing virtual phone banks, and they're coming together. Connecting those is super important. And it's also a way to connect the generations to talk about the perspectives that they have. The challenges that are faced by this younger generation, we see it because we're teachers and we have those conversations. But an older generation is not necessarily tapped into the actual day-to-day struggles. And so connecting those two together while fighting the good fight together is super important. So I think that that's a component of my campaign. And the other one is actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
You know, today I was out in Holyoke canvassing for 3 organizations. I was knocking on doors and I was talking to people in the flats of Holyoke, which was super important because it gives me perspective, it grounds me.
Mm-hmm.
It also gives information that's really needed to them. And doing this right and authentically is meeting people where they're at and being visible and accessible.
Right.
And I don't think that we have that in our current representation.
Well, and I mean, I think one of the things that's important to recognize is that we actually have a lot more in common a lot of times than we think.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if we're in different generations, you know, we are all concerned about the rising costs of everything,
Yep.
Of housing, of healthcare, of, you know, groceries. We all share those concerns. And, you know, I think it's important for us to be able to bridge those connections and realize, wow, we do have a lot in common.
Yeah.
And, you know, recognize those things, because a lot of times we're just focusing on the things that divide us.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's a great way to approach it.
Perfect example. I just made a post today. Democrats and Republicans in Easthampton, they're going to vote for different parties, but they're having a food bank together. You know, I'm going to bring some food for them too. It's the idea that we have those universal struggles. We might attack it from different angles, but at the same time, those things are impacting us all, and we got to band together. And we have way more in common than we do apart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we're moving on.
Okay, we're getting into the hot.
Now let me just see what we got here, because I think we're still. I think we're at the magic wand one. So.
Okay. Mayor. That's what it says.
Mayor. I mean, technically.
Yes. No, for sure. And you're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Every leader has to make a call that isn't popular. What's one tough decision you made and you'd still stand by it today?
You know, that's a really good one, because a lot of people were really, really anti-cannabis when cannabis first came on the scene with medical cannabis and recreational. And I was one of the people that was kind of at the forefront, because really what I saw that this was a substance that, yes, can cause harm if it's abused, but it's not like we don't have those in our society. You know, I'll just like take us to alcohol. You know, alcohol caused so much societal ill that, you know, it was the prohibition came about because of, you know, the Saturday night, distress that people would feel when men would come home from the factories after going to the bars, and it was like terrible for people. You know, it was a whole generation of people that were alcoholics. And so prohibition came about because of the social ills that was caused. But cannabis, on the other hand, was more looked at like the people who used it didn't necessarily look like the people that were trying to ban it. And so the reasons for it were different. And I felt like that was an important thing to kind of bring up to people, to say, you know, there's institutional racism built into the prohibition of cannabis. Yeah. And we need to try to fight that, because it wasn't banned because of the social ills that were caused. It was banned because of the people that were using it. Yeah. And I fought for that. And really, I'm proud of fighting for it, because the city brought in over almost $7 million.
Yeah.
And we were able to buy a new ambulance. We were able to do safety improvements at sidewalks. We were able to do like a lot of really beneficial things for the city, and with minimal impact. You know, we haven't had a real uptick in any sort of negative things associated with it, other than a little parking problem on Cottage Street every once in a while.
Yeah. And the educational resources that we have to combat any youth abuse and things like that. Right. As teachers, we're really informed on that.
Yep.
But also being able to provide that information and understanding when we're making decisions in the community is super important too.
Well, and another thing is, you know, I think it's important for us to be honest with people about like the impacts of the things that they're doing. Because a lot of times, you know, if you look at the Reefer Madness days, they were people that were like, you're going to go insane. Yeah. You're going to commit suicide. You're going to commit murder. You're going to, and it just wasn't true.
Yeah.
And so you say, oh, wait, that's not true. So what else isn't true?
Exactly.
And we need people to trust, you know, people in authority. And that means we should be honest and we should be forthcoming.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Ooh. Oh man, I just did a lot on that one. All right. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Guys, here we go. Oh boy.
I can already swallow it. Okay. All right. All right.
Oh, that one's got some.
Okay.
Whoa. Oh, that's some burn.
Oh, I'm not gonna answer a question.
Oh, like whoa. Oh, that one's all right. That one's intense. What the heck?
We're not even at the hottest one either.
Oh my God. All right. So, give us your realist take. What's the hardest truth about running for office that no one tells you before you start?
Money rules the game. I'm supposed to sit in a room and call people for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Oof.
People that I don't know, and beg them for money, and try to, in the span of 15 seconds, give them the vision that I have for Massachusetts District 1. That's damn near impossible. But also, I'm not even calling people that I would be representing necessarily. And don't get me wrong, I have great conversations with these people when I do talk to them. But the thing that I love about this is being out in the community and interfacing with people and learning their stories and struggles. And I try to fill up my time so much. My campaign team is like, you gotta go into call time, you gotta do it. But my thing is that, I want to prove myself. I want to be out in action, speaks louder than words. I'll say it every single time, because if I'm doing that work, people notice, they give 25, 50, $100, and I can continue to do that work and represent Mass One.
Yeah.
And so I think the dirty truth to this all is that my opponent has $4 million in the bank, and he's only raising more from corporations, and we're doing it through honest, hardworking folk. And we're going to continue to do that. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain. I mean, right? And it's not easy to I know, because I just had to experience this for the first time, raising money for my campaign. Yeah. It's not easy to ask for money all the time. And
we're teachers. We're not coming from any retail or business aspect.
People get annoyed and like, hey, sorry, but we need to be able to do this in order to try to get our message out. And it's an unfortunate part of the reality.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, for my classroom, I hustle son of a gun. Like, I brought in the last 11 years, I brought in something like $150,000 to $175,000 with computers. All those computers that I load into my van from Smith, because Smith was just really generous with their donations, setting all those up ourselves. I can hustle for that money, but if I'm getting money, you better believe that I'm using it appropriately and I'm making the most of it as well.
Right. Okay, you ready for the last dab?
Woo! The last dab.
All right, there you go. All right. Oh, this is the nuclear one.
Nuclear.
This is the bomb.
The bomb. Okay. Whew. Oh man, now I'm getting all.
I know. I can't even figure out where we are.
So, it doesn't work like this, but we work really hard to bring that change, and we work, along, across the aisle and doing a whole bunch of different things within the community. But if you could wave a magic wand right now and solve any problem, what would that be for you?
So in Easthampton, that's not a super hard one, because it's a 3-part wand. Really, what I would try to, with my wand, I would take away healthcare insecurity, I would take away housing insecurity, and I would take away food insecurity, because I believe those three things are human rights. And the fact that, yesterday my whole day was spent trying to figure out how I can support people that are going to lose their SNAP benefits.
Yep.
The fact that I'm trying to figure out where we're going to get $1.4 to $1.8 million to supplement our, increased costs for health insurance. The fact that I'm, yesterday outside my office was a tenants meeting where they're trying to figure out how they can deal with their tenants that's raising their rent so much that people are having to do we pay our rent or do we buy food?
Yeah.
And that is unacceptable. And so if I had a magic wand, I would wave it over those 3 things. And I wouldn't just do it for Easthampton. I would want to see that for the entire country.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's one of the things that's really holding us back as a country.
Yep.
Because if you have insecurity in any of those things, it's hard to organize. It's hard to be, active and involved, because these are base level things. These are really, like, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. We need these things in order to be functional. And so it's really hard to get up to enlightenment if you can't even focus on the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, we've been waving the wand too at the campaign kickoff, doing the food drive for the Easthampton Community Center. Right?
Did you see how many meals we raised?
How many was it?
571 meals. Yeah, it was amazing.
Just continuing to do that stuff. The other thing is, I was out. Yeah, it's intense. It's intense. Was out today with the petition for rent control, state legislative initiative. Hopefully, it gets on the ballot. There's a lot of signatures collected so far. Goal is 75 to 100. Well, 100,000 to 75 needed to get onto the actual ballot.
Wow.
But just kind of waving that wand as much as we can do. Waving our hands in the face.
Crazy.
All right, I'm gonna go with a little bit more. Okay?
I might have to. There's blue cheese here if you want to, like, since we don't have milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might need to.
Yeah, you're dead on. I mean, it's the same exact things. It's those universal things that hit Western and Central Massachusetts too.
Mm-hmm.
Housing, food assistance, health insurance. Right now, we're looking at the big BS bill, cutting 300,000 Mass residents health insurance from Mass Health and Health Connector. Unbelievable.
Crazy.
We're talking about crazy numbers. 70% of Springfield is on Mass Health or Health Connector.
Wow.
Like, we're talking about devastation. 20,000+ families on food assistance in Springfield. Like, and this is also hitting our Berkshire areas or Worcester County, and it's right here, right on our front doorsteps. And so,
It's really
everything that we can do. I just signed up to volunteer for the Western Mass Food Bank.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting connected with Lorraine's Kitchen. Anything that we can do. There's the food march coming up. Like, we got to get mobilized. We got to get activated. We got to do it together.
It's so important. I met with Josh Garcia from Holyoke on Monday, and we were, brainstorming ways that we can address this. And he was telling me 60% of his, citizens rely on SNAP, and he has federal workers, and so now they just missed their first paycheck. So, this is a widespread issue, and it's really impactful. So I think that this is, we got to just keep fighting for this.
Yeah,
got to just keep fighting. All right, so we got another bite of this. When this is all over, what's one thing you want people to say about how you showed up for your community?
I think that the hard work that we're both putting in and the care and compassion while doing so is going to really speak to people. It's already speaking to people. When you represent somebody, it means that you represent them not just in Congress, but within their own communities.
Right.
And showing up is so important, and having everyone's back. I mean, that the other part of this is that when you represent people that didn't even vote for you, right? And you got to approach it with a human element. You got to approach it with that care and compassion.
That's
and
so
I hope that that's what they see. Even if you disagree with me, you know that I have your backs.
Right.
That's the biggest.
And that's what we need. Neighbors helping neighbors.
Yep.
And, for me, my biggest challenge being mayor right now, because I was teaching and then being mayor at the same time, I wasn't able to get out and door knock as much as, some other people that I'm campaigning against. And that's tough for me because I really want to meet people. I really want to hear.
And you have your mayoral duty.
And I'm now, I take my leave of absence and I'm mayor.
Yep.
And like this week has been so mad. It's been so much to do, really scrambling to try to figure out how I can help people with SNAP benefits. I thought I had the best solution to. It was so close until our external auditor said, you can't take this money and use it as micro grants, because I had this grand idea, but it's, but in municipal finance, there are so many rules and so many regulations. Yep. And I was this close.
But what I love about you, though, is that you find outside the box solutions that work. Like
right.
Parking lot. Boom, done. And it's just finding those creative solutions is so important, especially now.
Especially now. Like we need to be thinking on our toes. We need to be getting out there, seeing what the needs are and hearing what those needs are, responding to them in a creative, effective way. And I think that's where both of us really are going to be able to help our constituents, bridge some of these really difficult issues that we're all facing.
Yep.
And lead us into the future, because I think we need leaders that are willing to step up and really sound the alarm in the areas that need that and be effective and show that we're not in it for the money.
Yep. And we're going to do that after we get milk into our
Yes, we got to get some milk. And Jeremy, I just want to say thank you so much. Man. This is the best. And I'm hoping that people will come out and vote on November 4th in Easthampton High School. And remember to follow Jeromie Whalen for Congress. There are very few people that are just genuinely, purely good people. And I have one of them sitting right across from me. So I feel so honored.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
Take it.